I'm leading every single state, including this one, but this is the closest of all of them. This is the closest. A poll came out yesterday or something. I'm leading only by 5 points. I'm not used to 5 points. I like New Hampshire, where I have a 21-point lead. I don't like this 5 points.
I don't like this 5-point stuff. Donald Trump lamenting his first place status here in Iowa. Joining me to talk about that and the race here and much, much more, conservative radio talk show giant Hugh Hewitt, Neera Tanden, a former Hillary Clinton advisor, Republican strategist Ana Navarro, who's a Jeb Bush supporter, and Brian Schweitzer, former governor who endorsed Martin O'Malley. Thanks so much for being here, one and all, in this freezing weather. Let's put up the poll numbers from the Des Moines Register poll showing the Republican race right now. Donald Trump, 28%. Ted Cruz, 23%. Marco Rubio, 15%. Ben Carson, 10%. Hugh, as Ted Cruz said, closed doors, but wouldn't support his own punditry when I asked him about it. If Donald Trump wins here, is he unstoppable?
No. I don't think anyone's going to get over 30%, so I don't think this race is actually going to move New Hampshire much. I don't see the Carson numbers staying at 10%, so I see a lot of flexibility. And I noted that Marco Rubio about 3 half hours this weekend. Ted is rushing to the end. Donald Trump is staying here 24/7. Wide open, but I don't see anyone getting 30%.
Okay, and can I ask you, do you think the Ted Cruz ground game can make up and actually get him over the hump and have him win? Is that possible?
It is possible. Will it happen? We don't know. Really, that is the gigantic question that is above both the Democratic and Republican caucus here on Monday. Will celebrity stardom, will authenticity, will persona trump the classic organizations? We've got Hillary Clinton and Ted Cruz, who have classic on-the-ground organizations in Iowa. We have got, Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, who are all about persona, personality, just, who they are, attracting all these rallies. Question is, will the rally goers turn into voters? If they do, I think you see Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump win. If they don't, I think you see Hillary Clinton, get it.
Governor, let me ask you, we'll get to the Democratic race here in Iowa in a second, but do you think Democrats in general are underestimating Donald Trump and how strong he might be in a general election?
I think everybody has, including most of the pundits. But what Donald Trump is none of the above. His voters are none. I don't like anything that's going on in Washington, D.C., and you don't sound or look like them, and I'm voting for you.
Oh, that's interesting.
And what's interesting about Trump in Iowa is he might prove that ground game doesn't matter. I think he only has 12 staffers here in Iowa. And so is he able to reach people with social media and get them to show up on caucus night? I think something like 40% of the people who say they're going to vote for him on caucus night have never been to a caucus before. Yeah. Will they this time? Because if he gets them there, and if he wins Iowa going away, it changes politics for Democrats and Republicans.
Rule book out the window. Is Hillary Clinton underestimating Donald Trump? Assuming she's the nominee and he's the nominee, is she ready? I hear a lot of Democrats in Washington, not you, kind of like sneering as if, he's going to be easy to defeat. And as has been pointed out, pundits are wrong about Donald Trump almost every single time.
Yeah, going away. I agree. I think, look, I don't think, if you're the Republican nominee, you have a very good chance of being the next president. Any major party leader, it could be president. So I think, and also we should recognize he's transformed politics. He's a new breed of political force. So no one should underestimate him. I do think he helps bring out the rising American electorate. He will bring out voters. You're seeing Latino voter registration going up now.
Against him.
Against him.
Yeah.
But, he will also attract different people to politics.
A lot of disenfranchised white voters.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's something that both parties have to deal with.
Let's look at the Democratic race right now from that gold standard poll, the Des Moines Register, Bloomberg. Hillary Clinton, 45%. Bernie Sanders, 42%. Sorry, Governor Schweitzer. Martin O'Malley only at 3% there. If that ends up being the final vote count, is the headline, do you think, Governor, Hillary Clinton wins Iowa, or is it Bernie Sanders almost beats Hillary Clinton in Iowa?
I don't care what the headline is, because it isn't winner take all. When they leave Iowa, if you get to 15%, you get some delegates, and if you don't, you don't. So the point is that what Bernie ought to say is, look, I got 45% and I won. And Hillary has to say, I won outright.
Yeah.
So, Bernie really ought to say, I got 45% of the delegates in Iowa. That's pretty dang good. And go on to New Hampshire.
Did Hillary Clinton underestimate Bernie Sanders, you think? Or did the Clinton organization underestimate him?
We've seen Bernie Sanders rise in the fall. So I think, this isn't just like he was rising just now. He had a big surge in the fall. came down a little, surging again. So I don't think it's a. I think the reality is that people are tired of politics as usual. And I think what's great about this race is Hillary in the last week has really been, fighting for it. She's really doing better in the clutch.
Go ahead.
This poll was taken before the 22 emails marked top secret SCI SAP were revealed. This is an enormously important issue of national security. Her biggest vulnerability
The
is she's
Democrats
not
care?
trusted.
The Democrats
Yes, they do, and
No,
Republicans care.
The Des Moines Register poll, this question was asked about the email. 85%
No,
of
but this is
Democrats say they don't care.
before the 22 emails on Friday came out that were marked top secret. She is lying to the American people.
She's
It will
not
make its
lying.
way
She's
into
Let me
the
ask
election.
one more question.
No, but
I
also-
want to go into the poll. One thing that's interesting is if you look at the Democratic vote, according to the poll, the most predictive thing about whether they support Sanders or Clinton is not gender, it's age. Older voters going for Clinton, younger voters going for Sanders, and women under the age of 45. Look at that. 48% of women under 45 are going for Sanders and 33% for Clinton. Why is Hillary Clinton not connecting, do you think, with younger women?
Because younger women don't just go for gender, because they don't think that being a woman is is a historical glass ceiling thing. We've grown up. I am a woman that's under 45. We've grown up without some of the limitations that the women that came in front of us had. So we don't see it to the same level that you may if you are of an older generation. And frankly, because look, Bernie Sanders comes across as authentic. It is fascinating that the 74-year-old from Vermont, who's a cranky old guy, is the one that is really resonating and cutting through with the young people
We gotta
because
pay the
of
bills.
passion.
We gotta pay the bills. Quick break right now. When we come back, panel, stay here, get some final predictions on who's gonna win, who's gonna get a ticket to New Hampshire.